Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Deep Rooted Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Aisha Powell, and this is created by Midnight Entertainment LLC and also executive produced by Hustle Vision Entertainment. So to the right of me, I have my lovely host.
Hi, this is Ornella. You can find me on Instagram at Cameroonian_beauty15. We hope that you enjoyed the last episode, and feel free to drop the comments and let us know how you feel about the topics that we've been discussing. And but before we go any further, to the right of me.
What's going on, everyone? This is Anubis. You can find me on AnubisMM215 for Instagram, as well as Dominic Powell for the Facebook, and also Midnight Entertainment LLC for Instagram.
What's going on? You know who it is, your man on the end. Marquise Wasi Irvin. It's like, nah, what's going on, y'all? It's Marquise. Follow me on Facebook, Marquise Wasi Irvin. Follow me on Instagram, Wasi_610. Also, don't forget to follow the Deep Rooted Instagram page at Deep Rooted 215. You know how it is. We also got our YouTube channel now as well. So go follow, subscribe, like, comment, share.
Link
show
in the
love.
description. You know where it is.
Let's get to the business today.
Alright, so do I get to pick this time? Okay.
Do you get to pick this?
I always pick the good ones. You already know. Okay. Black people in therapy. Thank you.
Black people in therapy.
Thank you.
Okay, so what are your thoughts?
I personally feel like we as a community need to do better in terms of addressing mental health, mental wellness in general, and it's especially difficult growing into like an African household, managing your feelings and thoughts, and it gets lonely. I'm not gonna lie, because you don't really feel like it's okay to like express certain feelings because we have better things to worry about, or like our lives are already hard enough. What are you complaining about, type of thing. So that's why I'm glad this topic came up, because I want to hear from everyone else, of course, but this is something that I've been wanting to discuss on the Deep Rooted, so let's get into it.
Okay, well, my personal opinion on black people in therapy, I feel like a lot of stuff we normalize. So like when we're going through depression, we kind of normalize it because our parents are like, you're too young to be depressed. A lot of times when it's dealing with PTSD, it's normalized. So they're like, okay, well, this isn't something that's that serious. It's a lot of things that black people go through mentally, especially like it's a lot of people dealing with schizophrenia and stuff that goes untalked about. And a lot of people will self-medicate or try to find different vices to try to help a situation instead of actually going to seek help. And a lot of times that's why the problem doesn't get better. It just gets worse because you're constantly finding something to mask the problem that's really at hand instead of trying to seek the help so that you can find like the peace within yourself.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like especially in the black community, a lot of people don't understand your struggles. You know, it's a lot of times where you think that you have an issue and you go to your parents and they're like, okay, well, you're a child. What do you know about that?
Just brush it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why a lot of people shut in. They don't really want to discuss it, because if everyone has that same, they have that same view as to how they're going to handle your problem, as to it shouldn't even be that serious. You don't have this much problem, so you shouldn't be stressing about this. Is not really going to make you feel like you want to open up to people and discuss what's really going on with you.
Yeah.
You build that armor.
And one thing, you can't sit here and expect to fix a problem by sweeping it under the rug and trying to forget that it's there. And that's what we tend to do when it comes to our mental issues, as well as when it comes to the parent standpoint on it, because you as a parent, you have to know what your child's personality is and when they're faced with certain issues, how they respond to it. If they shut in, do they rise up through it? You have to be aware of that. You can't sit here And it comes to, like, you know, about the last episode that we had when we spoke about parenting and how, you know, parents just give their children like iPhones or iPads and everything so they can keep them busy. They don't know their child. So you have to sit here and you have to know those cues. You definitely have to know those cues.
Yeah. And I also believe that, like, a lot of the mental illnesses and a lot of the problems that children have stem from their parents. Because you got to think about our parents as being like old-fashioned. Their parents were old-fashioned. So if you think about how we thought our parents were, just think about how their parents were, where, like, a child, anytime that you express yourself, it was deemed as disrespectful. And a lot of problems that they probably had, they weren't able to discuss with their parents as well. So with them raising children the best that they see fit, sometimes, like, personalities can be passed down into your children.
Exactly.
And, you know, they don't want to look at it as that because they honestly didn't get the chance to discuss their mental struggles and whatever they were dealing with their parents or with anyone else.
I've seen a study not too long ago that actually said that trauma is actually genetic also. So the trauma that your parents or your grandparents face is passed on through the generations, and that is what also contributes to mental illnesses. So it's not only like, you know, what you experience at home and what you experience in your day-to-day life outside of influences, but it's also genetic too. So.
Like, I'm just gonna do a brief little story, and it might be funny to some people, but for me, my mother definitely is afraid of bugs. And it didn't help that this one right here also put a bee down my back when I was younger.
You gonna bring that up?
Yes, because that's something that was passed on to me from my mom. And that's something that's mental, because to me, I don't care if it's a fly, a bee, anything that tries to get near me, I'm going to freak out because I just literally have that fear of bugs. And it might be funny when you think about bugs, but when it's like something deeper than that, then it becomes a bigger issue.
Yeah.
It doesn't take away the fact that I'll probably kill myself trying to get away from a spider, but you know, it's still like kind of hand in hand.
Anything with more limbs than you.
I don't even care.
Personally, I'm a big advocate for looking within in order to find peace and like heal and all of that. And I'm just recently teaching my mom how to do that, because as much as I love her and I think she's so amazing, she lacks that, you know, compassion for like her children going through stuff. And sometimes I find myself having to explain to her what my siblings are feeling and why they react the way they're reacting. So I definitely believe that as parents, like future parents, we are going to I'm hoping that we're going to, you know, do better. And it's not to like shame our parents or anything at all. I love my mom. I still think she's a badass. But yeah, definitely think, and like what you said about what you mentioned earlier about parents and like the way they respond to their children, and knowing exactly how your child is going to respond to a certain obstacle, given their personality, is really important. Because if you know that your children are individuals, so they will never be the same person, you know that certain things maybe one can handle better than the other.
Right,
so
right.
I think that's really important to be aware of also as a parent.
All right, brother. I know there's something that you want to speak on also.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is like really, it's just like based just like deep down when it comes to like just the traumatic experiences that we face, like just from childhood to even adulthood. And then like some people even go through these traumatic experiences and are never like reconciling with them at all, like never dealing with them, never talking about them, or don't feel comfortable talking about them because like maybe like he was molested. Like I was molested when I was a kid by like one of my mom's like close friends. So like at some point in time, like that makes you feel like confused as a little kid. Like some people won't even be like, you know what I mean, have enough courage to even want to talk about things like that, especially like with their parents and stuff like that. Like it took me, I think I was like 25 when I finally like even came out and like told my mom and my dad about it, like, and they was like, and then like even that kind of changed our relationship, because like just me keeping that in like to myself, like that just made me like have a lot of resentment for my parents, like especially like my dad and stuff, like why wasn't they there and like things like that, like
Yeah.
and those are the things that like the children go through, like those are the questions that you ask yourself when you when you go through these experiences and these traumas. Like why me, like why wasn't my dad, like why weren't my parents there, like why didn't nobody help me, like why did this happen to me, like is this right, was this supposed to happen, like, and these are like all questions that are hitting your little 7-year-old brain, 8-year-old brain, and like that's not normal, and like that changes just the way that you even look at life, that even changes the way that you even look at like right and wrong in certain things. So like I really believe like it's something that needs to be like more talked about, and needs to be more open, like in dialogue and in conversation, because like at the end of the day, like the children are suffering.
I definitely agree with you on that.
And there definitely needs to be like a safe space for people that either like, you know, have something going on, like how you were saying, how you felt because you were molested.
Like you don't want to be like you don't want to be labeled as something that you're not, because you've been through an experience.
Because
like,
it's not your
just
fault.
Just because I was touched on by somebody when I was a little kid don't mean I'm gay now. Like you feel me? And like I went through a little, like, you know what I mean, people like kids used to call me a faggot when I was young. Like when I was younger, and I used to get in all types of fights and shit. Like so, like even like just stuff like that. I mean that happens, and like it builds, and it causes you to go through like certain experiences that you shouldn't even go through. Like, cause I mean, people calling you a faggot or fucking what else? Like just bullying and just all type of stuff like that. Like it's just a lot of traumatic stuff.
I agree. Our family history, we have like a history of depression.
Like being
And
that too,
one of
being
us have
labeled
that in
as
some type of way.
And then like even people being labeled as like crazy because you're depressed.
Yeah.
Or like things like that. Like you're not crazy.
That you don't like being around people, that you're crazy. Like, you know, people like, you know, what's wrong with you? Like, you know, even if you have good things going around you, when you're dealing with depression, that chemical imbalance, those chemical signals that your brain is receiving from that, no matter what it is, it's just like, you know, it puts you in a slump that's hard to get out. And it's really like pertaining to it, no matter what a person can say, can pull you out of it.
Yeah, nothing can make you happy. Nothing can really fix that. Like, the only way that you can seriously get out of depression is either, like, you have to find something to make you happy, or you have to seek help. Because some people can be in depression for a week, and some people can be in depression for years.
Months.
Yeah, months and years.
There's been times I would be like depressed for months. And then like I would just have to like listen to that, to like voice in my head like, nigga, if you don't get the fuck up, like what the fuck is wrong? Like then I just like, you know what, like I gotta get out, man. Like this shit is like, you gotta get yourself out of that, like that low space, like that dark place, as people call it. Like
it was times where like sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I also experienced depression, and I feel like I'm also susceptible to seasonal depression, which I wasn't aware, because there's no snow in Cameroon. So like whenever the winter time comes along, something about that weather just puts me in like this weird state. But when I experienced depression, I actually ended up going to therapy and never told anybody in my family that I went through it. So I it's only, well, I actually never did. Yeah, I never told anybody in my family that I ended up going to therapy for a while. And
you had like a subconscious shame?
Yeah, exactly. That like if I did tell them that I went, like how would they react? Would they feel like I'm weak? Would they judge me? I really didn't know how they would feel about it, so I never told them. And did I find it helpful? It was nice, honestly. It was nice to like talk to someone who just wasn't going to like respond back or like try to
judge you,
make sense of it, or judge me. Yeah, for sure.
It felt good hearing somebody listen to you.
Yeah, so like just somebody listening, but whenever they would look at the time, then it would remind me that they're only here because they're getting paid, and then I would just like, you know, be like, oh, they don't really care, like it's more like a job to them. So like I would say having somebody who really, or people who really care and willing to just listen and shut up, like don't say anything, just let me unload, let me say everything that I need to say, is really important. So like I'm not saying at all that therapy isn't helpful, but if you can have somebody in your life that can be that person to you, I feel like it would definitely help.
I won't say so much of therapy, but therapeutic environments and therapeutic people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alright, so
because some people don't take well to like therapy. Like me,
like strangers.
Yeah, like me just talking to like a straight psychiatrist, like just doctor, whoever the fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like never met me in my life. You just reading what the fuck somebody pretty much wrote about my life on some paper, and then you just analyzing the paper and thinking like you trying to fix me from a piece of paper, pretty much. Like
that's why I said like as much as I would enjoy, well not necessarily enjoy, but like enjoy having like unloading, it always occurred to me that they were just there because they were getting paid. And sometimes even when they were trying to regurgitate what they understood from what I was saying, I just felt like that's not what I meant. That's not really how I feel. So it's hard, but you definitely like have to have a support system around you. That's essential when you're going through something like that. People who are just like there, and they don't have to understand what's going on, they just have to just be there. Sometimes being there is the best thing you can do. So yeah,
I definitely agree. Would you say dealing with depression, like centering around depression, would you say meditation would help when dealing with that?
Yeah.
You know, therapeutic environment, you know, having people that, you know, will sit down and like, you know, just listen to whatever you're going through or just be there for you. Because a lot of times, like dealing with depression, you actually don't even want to be around people. You just want to be by yourself.
Yeah.
And you do have people that like, you know, come and try to talk to you, figure out what's going on with you. Would you say like, you know, when you feel that clock setting in, you know, for, you know, the depression to begin and you start going through it, do you feel that meditation will be a good way to help prepare for it? Music, and that's what we want everyone else to join in on the conversation about also.
Yeah.
If, you know, whatever the mental illness is, like, you know, we will urge you, you know, you don't have to go through it by yourself. You're not going through it alone. There's other people that you can reach out and talk to.
Yeah.
All of us here, like, you know, you can hit us up and, like, you know, speak to anyone else on it. And if we can, we would actually look for outlets for to be able to help or give you, like, you know, contact numbers for you to call someone on.
Yeah.
But go ahead, you know, join the discussion. Subscribe, like, comment, follow, share. You know, you have the comment section on Facebook. You have comment section on Instagram, on YouTube. Anchor app. Call in. Join the discussion. We'll be back with another segment.
Hi everybody, this is your host Ornella, aka Cameroonian_beauty15. We would like to encourage you at this moment to visit the Midnight Entertainment store on teesprings.com and take advantage of our sales on all new accessories like smartphone cases and brand new deep-rooted podcast apparels like t-shirts, hoodies, whatever you may be interested in. And thank you again for your support. And for discounts on shipping, you can actually use today's code, which was RECONNECT in all caps, to get free shipping. And once again, thank you so much. Hi everybody, we're back with another segment of Deep Rooted Podcast, and this segment will actually be highlighting young black entrepreneurs. You don't have to be young, but also like black businesses. So this week's entrepreneurs/black business owners of the week are the Elite Capital Group, LLC. We actually attended one of their networking events yesterday, and it was just amazing.
It was phenomenal.
Yes, for sure. So what they do is that they support young entrepreneurs by providing financial knowledge, support, funding also, and just like whatever tools you may need to start a business, a successful business. So go ahead and follow them at Elite Capital Group, and they're very friendly, very nice. So don't hesitate to reach out, DM or whatever. So yeah,
what these guys are doing, they're taking the steps to create a Black Wall Street here in Philadelphia.
Hey.
You know, they're getting other entrepreneurs together with various networking events, and they're placing you, like, you know, even if you come out and you don't know how to network yourself, all you have to do is talk to one of the representatives. Like she said, they're very friendly. Like, each and every one of these individuals are just phenomenal.
Yeah, they're just looking to help and spread the knowledge. So go ahead and follow and DM them. I'm sure you would get an answer within like a few hours. So go ahead and do that. But now we're going to find out what our next topic is going to be for this segment. So hang in there while we do our little thing. Who's gonna pick the topic this time?
My little sister.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Okay.
East with the capiche.
Ooh. Now this one is actually a good one.
Yeah?
So y'all are actually going to have to find out after the commercial break.
Uh-oh.
Oh man, I was getting all excited.
All right, see you guys soon.
All right.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to our Deep Rooted Podcast. I hope that you enjoyed our last segment on Black people in therapy, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also check out our support feature on the Anchor app. Any donation counts, and we appreciate any gesture. So our next portion is going to be talking about double standards. All right, so does anyone have anything to start off?
There's a lot of double standards going on in the world. So it's just such a broad, like...
Yeah.
It's a broad topic. That's what
like, we can talk about double standards in relationships, jobs,
in a workplace.
Expectations of people.
Expectations of people, social environments.
Yeah.
Just a lot. Like, where should we start?
Let's start at the workplace first.
Okay.
Start at the workplace and then start going through the other ones.
Right.
All right, so let's start at the workplace. So, recently I was actually a kitchen coach or team leader, whatever you want to call it, at Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. So
peace nuggets for your boy, please.
It was a new experience for me because I was never in a position of leadership, but I would notice sometimes that a a lot of people responded better to men telling them what to do rather than me. And it's not the fact that I had an attitude or anything like that, because I know how to conduct myself professionally, but I just feel like some people don't like to listen to women in a position of authority.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely true. They would rather, or if they do listen to what you have to say, that it'll hold more weight if a male, for example, backs you up or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I understand what you mean, and I've like definitely experienced that.
Yeah, I think like some people for some reason think like some like women are not as intelligent as men.
Which is so wrong. What's so
like,
you know what's going on in
like,
here?
that's just so like that's just how some people think. Like
especially like it wasn't too long ago that
like super duper alpha male type.
We live in a society. First of all, we live in a world. I'm gonna broaden that, not society, but we live into a world that women have been at the bottom of the totem pole. That it wasn't like, when it came to listening to what a woman has to say, like, her opinion, what she wants to do, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So speed it up to modern day, it's still the same way.
Yeah, it's still a struggle for like women to have equality, and like a lot of that equality comes especially in the workforce, because it's a lot of jobs that'll have people doing the same exact job, but a man will get paid
more than a woman.
Yeah. And that's actually one of the double standards, because if you're doing the exact same job, and especially if a woman has just as much experience, there shouldn't be that inequality.
Things do work vice versa that way too. Like, it's certain jobs. It goes both ways, because there's certain jobs that men can get that women can't get, and there's certain jobs that women can get that men can't get, or it's just more difficult to get, or they will get paid more.
I actually remember when I lived in Maryland. I used to work at the Cinnabon Mall. Shout out to Cinnabon.
Cinnabon?
Cinnabon's good.
Which I can't stand now, because I used to eat it every day, and then take the boxes home and eat them at home. But that's neither here or there. I used to work in the Cinnabon in the Waldorf, Maryland Mall. And there was a brother who actually used to work for the Victoria's Secrets in there. And he ended up getting fired just for doing his job. He went and he asked the customer, like, excuse me, miss, how can I help you? And I guess, like, she didn't know that he worked there, or she felt like some type of way about it, ended up getting him fired for it.
So she pretty much thought he was like a perv.
Yeah.
Working and just asking, like.
Because she was looking at bras and everything. And
like, can I help you
try to
find a bra? I work here, though.
But I mean, a customer, I don't think would come up and ask them that. So I mean, that could have been. She should have used some common sense with that.
True. Yeah.
Well, you never really know in this the day and age that we live in.
Common sense is uncommon virtue.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a luxury now. It's not so common.
Quote of the day.
Also, we gotta take into consideration. Of course, if you look at the news with the recent counts of the incarcerations that's been going on for minute things. I bet everybody remembers not too long ago, a black woman, her boyfriend used to abuse her and her children, and to defend them, she got her gun. She didn't shoot him. She didn't even point it at him.
She shot him into the air.
She shot him in the air and got arrested for it. Not the abusive, boyfriend, husband, whoever he is, but her defending herself.
What was this at?
And her children.
What state was that?
That I can't remember. We would have to find that. We had to find that.
I want to say it was Florida, if I'm not mistaken.
Possibly. But then you sit here and look at, say, somebody like white, all the heinous things that, they can do, they will get probation.
I mean, no, not even. She would be a hero. She would be like, oh my gosh, she stood up and shot in the air and saved her children. But because what was the ethnicity of the woman?
Black.
Yeah, because it was a black
sister.
woman. She was probably labeled all sorts of crazy, violent, and nobody, of course, believed her probably for when she told everybody what she was going through.
Because it's that double standard, like people would normally especially, I remember reading about things that happen. I want to say back in like the 50s or 60s, whenever like a woman went, and even today, whenever a woman went to the cops about like, you know, her husband, they would actually take his word over it than hers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that happens a lot, and you'd be surprised. Like sometimes, for like domestic violence victims, they would go to the cops, and either the cop themselves or like the same kind of men that do that to their women. So they'll be like, "Oh, you're just being crazy." Yeah, and they're not even going to take your case through whatever it needs to go through in order for it to get sorted out, or they'll like create a situation where the man ends up getting away from it. Or getting away with it. Either way, you're not winning it.
Yeah.
And of course, like it still depends on your race. I don't know what the experience is with black women or with white women, but I know for a lot of like women of color, it's hard to get those cases heard, and that's why a lot of victims actually don't end up coming forward because. It's like people are going to call them all sorts of liar or like not even believe that they went through what they say they went through.
Yeah, but like even with domestic disputes like around here, like especially like around here, like if the cops come to a household, they'll talk to the woman of the house before they'll talk to the man of the house. And then, like, if there was any domestic dispute going on in the house, like, whether the woman was in the wrong or not, like, the man will get locked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just how it is.
It's very small cases where the woman will actually, like, you know, face the outcome of that. But for the most part, it's the men. Even if the men, like you said, like, you know, if the woman was wrong or not, if you're dealing with, like, a domestic partner, and you haven't put your hands, you could just push them to, like, you know, get them away from you trying to get out, and that can be blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
But it depends on, like, you know, who's handling, who's responding to the scene, and, like, you know, what their view on it is also. So, like, that's something that, you know, everyone actually needs to be aware of. Everyone actually needs to sit down and have a discussion on, which is why we're here also. So everybody that's viewing, you can jump in on the discussion also.
Yeah, 'cause that can even be a double standard, just even how the cops assess the situation, depending on who's involved, the parties involved.
Yeah, and if you're black, that make it even worse.
Yeah.
That make it way more worse.
Yeah, and don't let it be black on white.
Going to jail immediately.
No trial.
And nobody's gonna ask any questions. Like, we're gonna take this black guy to jail. This white guy didn't do anything. And then that's
for the most part, I've seen like some things have been a little bit better, especially with like what they had a meme about recently, like the woman calling the cops on black people for like having barbecue.
Oh yeah.
The woman calling the cops on a real estate guy because he was coming doing his job and everything, and she was harassing him. So she ended up calling the cops on him, and they came, they assessed the situation and everything, and they, like, you know, threatened to take her to jail due to her harassing him while he's doing his job. So I see it's like, you know, it's a few cases that we see so far where, like, you know, it's a good outcome for it. But even still, like, the double standards is crazy. I know recently everybody's seen the video of, it was a white guy who pulled his gun out on a black woman and beat her. And he did very little jail time. Like, he's actually out now.
Did you see the video about the one cop beating that little boy? Little black boy?
See him all the time.
No, like, he was like slamming the little black boy face into the ground and start punching him back in the head.
Okay, so one moment. We're just going to take a moment to end our lives. Everyone, thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
All right.
Catch the whole episode on YouTube or the Anchor app or Apple, whichever app you have. We have it also on it. So.
All right. Stay tuned for our next episode. Okay. So Next, we can actually move on to something else. So we can talk about double standards. One that I would like to discuss is like usually when you're single and stuff like that, like how a man is expected to carry himself and also how a woman is. Because now that we're in a modern age, I know a lot of things have changed since our parents were children. And, you know, a lot of men, you know, expect...
A lot of things changed since we was children.
Yeah, a lot of things have. But one thing that I wanted to talk about, especially now, because it's not really, it's seen as taboo. Like when you're dating, when you're officially single and you're dating multiple people, women aren't really expected to date multiple people. They expect, like, a woman has to prove her loyalty to a man in order for him to take her serious in most cases. Because most guys, they don't understand that women are going to be going on multiple dates and women are going to be seeing other people, same as a guy. A guy is expected...
But that's all a part of dating.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's more taboo for a woman. Because a lot of men are expected to have a lot of girls in their phone, take a lot of women out on dates, or see different women. But like when a woman is seeing different men before they're in a relationship, like guys, they want you to be like, okay, if you're not talking to just me, how do I know whether you're just going to be committed to me?
I mean, I'm not like that until like we're like real intimate, and I feel as though I want to take it to the next level with you, like relationship wise, like. But if we just still getting to know each other, or like we so-called like we still in the dating phase of the relationship, I think it's just an understanding of like just the levels of intimacy and then just the stages of a relationship and just both people understanding those.
Yeah.
And then just keeping it real with each other and having an understanding, like, yo, like we not together yet, like might be talking to this guy, and this guy. I might go out to dinner, like some dude might take me out to dinner. You might go out to the movies with somebody that's cool, but when we together, we together.
But will that change the way like you approach the situation? Would you like commit to somebody, or like want to commit to somebody you know is still going on dates and stuff like that? How would you approach it?
I mean, it's all how the woman conducts herself with me, to be honest. Like,
okay. That's a very good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's all.
Yeah, I look at it also, like, when it comes to dating, I generally don't mind if the woman is like, you know, going seeing other people. Like, I would encourage it because, you know, I could be sitting here putting in all this time and you can't, you're probably not even the one that I'm supposed to be with. We probably don't even click like that. It was just something that was temporary. Right. Rather, like, you know, she could be sitting here dating multiple people and end up with somebody that she's not supposed to be with, and like, you know, vice versa. Or we could be sitting here like, you know, in a situationship because we just jumped into like, you know, commitment with each other. And that's what I think when it comes to the double standard. First off, everyone has their preferences.
Yeah.
A lot of people tend to shoot for the moon looking for perfection, but one thing that you have to realize...
You ain't even met perfect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also, you're not always going to find what you want. You're going to find what you need.
Yeah.
When you do find out what you want, it's just going to be there, something that you want, and your wants can change.
But most people don't know what they need, so that's like...
Yeah.
You can't know what you need until you actually experience it, because sometimes you don't know that you're hurt and that you need someone that's actually like going to be like therapeutic to you until you actually embrace that person. Or sometimes you don't know that like maybe what you need is like to be by yourself, because sometimes that's what you need as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like one of the biggest issues with especially at double standard is like the communication isn't clear, because a lot of people want you to have sex with them, but they also want to do their own thing. If you're dating, I feel like sex definitely confuses
I think they want to have like, they want to do the sex, but they don't want to do like the relationship stuff, like the commitment things, or like the things that you pretty much have to like pretty much like the way that you have to conduct yourself to like pretty much get to the level of having sex.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people out here that'll gas your head up, make you think that they are the one for you. And as soon as they get what they want, they out. Instead of just like communicating, because there's a lot of people that will appreciate the honesty of you being like, you know what, I'm not really interested in a relationship, but you know what, I do find you very attractive, and I want to hit. Like, a lot more females like appreciate the honesty. No, seriously,
I just can't see myself doing that. Like, yo.
No, like, you would be surprised. Instead of you saying, you know what, I'm interested in you, I would like for you to be my girlfriend potentially.
I think I got more respect for women to just be like, yo, like, I'm just trying to hit, like.
You don't have to say it like that.
I mean, like,
like, word it a different
way.
Like,
I'm physically attracted. I wouldn't even know how to, like.
If you say that you're physically attracted to a woman, they're already going to kind of get that in their head. Anyways.
But, like,
you can be respectful about it, but be straight to the point as well.
Yeah, open communication for sure, especially with us women, is key, because you can't tell a woman.
I don't think a lot of men know how to do that, though.
But, well, you can be like, oh, I hope to marry you someday, and then act like you're only here for one thing. Like, it's just mixed signals like that confuse people. So how about, like, you know, we all, you know, learn how to communicate with, like adults, and let everybody know what we're trying to do, so that nobody gets hurt, nobody gets confused or anything. Because that's when, like, you know, males actually start calling women crazy for acting a certain way when you led her to believe that you were trying to do something else. So, like,
that you were trying to build a future.
Would everybody agree if I say the thing about the double standards that we have going on? Especially, like, it's some things that men can do that women can't do, vice versa, and everything. And also that, like, you know, when it comes to, like, you're single and you're dating, you're looking for somebody to, like, you know, mess with and everything. Generally, as men, we have double standard that, you know, it's okay to lead woman on because you're building that experience for the woman that you want to settle down with, but it's not okay for a woman to sit here and do that because you want your woman to just be your woman.
And men get so hurt. Like, you break their heart one time in high school and they gonna do everybody dirty for the rest of their life.
Yeah, they dedicate their lives to messing up women.
Yeah, and there's like really good women out there.
Yeah, and then like a lot of things, like with the double standard things, like I think because like we've been taught, like some people, men have been taught, like, I mean, you make, like, the woman that you marry should be a virgin, like, she shouldn't, I mean, she should be a quote unquote pure, like, I mean, shouldn't have dealt with, like, any man other than you or whatever.
And she can't have any friends, but you could have friends.
Yeah, like all this crazy
sex. But yeah, so what do you guys think? We want to hear from you, because this is a topic that I could go on and on about.
We could talk about this for a whole nother
What do y'all feel are some fucked up double standards that we got going on?
Let us know. Let us know, and like we can address it. You could even use the call-in feature on the Anchor app and join the conversation as we're So let us know. Comment section. You already know. YouTube. Anchor app, wherever you're listening from, let us know. And also check out our link for our merchandise, Midnight Entertainment, Deep Rooted shirts, and I Am Black History. We have so much to offer, and as always, whatever you can donate, use it to support. And
make sure to like, comment, and subscribe as well to our channels.
We love y'all.
Yeah,
and welcome to the midnight.
Welcome to the midnight.
See y'all next week, babe.